Dear students, welcome again in my class on modifier. Hope that you all are in sound health. In my previous lecture on modifier, I have discussed about some words or phrases that are used as post modifier. Today, I will discuss the rest of the items of post modifiers. So let's begin. Firstly, appositive as post modifier. Students, at first you have to know what is an appositive. Appositive is a noun or a noun phrase that is placed next to another noun or pronoun to identify or give additional information about the second noun or pronoun. Appositives are often used with commas, parentheses, or dashes. In a sentence, appositives are used after the subject or the object to describe them. They are also used to indicate possession. Let me clarify it with example. Number 1. Elizabeth I, the daughter of Henry VIII, became Queen of England in 1558. Number 2. Mr. Mahmood, chairman of this club, is a well-educated person. Here in the first sentence, the red highlighted words, the daughter of Henry VIII, is an additional information about Queen Elizabeth I. So, it is an appositive which is used here as a post modifier of the noun Elizabeth I. In the same way, in the second sentence, the red highlighted words, chairman of this club, is also an additional information about Mr. Mahmood. So it is as an appositive and it is used here as a post modifier of the noun Mr. Mahmood. The next one is the use of adjective as post modifier. Students, you all know that adjectives usually are used before a noun or a pronoun and modify the noun or the pronoun. But sometimes adjectives may be used after a noun or some pronouns and modify the previous noun or the pronoun. Example, number 1, I didn't find Mr. Shafiq fit for this job. Number 2, there was something unnatural in the whole atmosphere. In the first sentence, the adjective fit is used after the noun Mr. Shafiq and tells us a kind of shortfall about Mr. Shafiq. So here the adjective fit is a post modifier of the noun Mr. Shafiq. In the second sentence, the word or the adjective unnatural is used after the indefinite pronoun something and tells about the pronoun specifically. So it is a post modifier of the pronoun something. Now the use of adverb as post modifier. Students, you all know that an adverb usually modifies a verb, an adjective, or sometimes it may modify another adverb in a sentence. Occasionally, it may occur after a noun and can modify a noun. Here are some examples of adverb as post modifier. Number 1. The water is hot enough to make a drink. Here in the sentence, the adverb enough is used after the adjective hot and it expresses the intensity of the adjective hot. The second sentence, everyone reacted sadly to this news. In this sentence, the adverb sadly is used after the verb reacted and it tells specifically about the manner of reaction. In the same way, in the third sentence, the path below leads to the lake. The adverb below is used after the noun path and it tells specifically about the path. In all these cases, the adverbs enough, sadly, and below are used after the adjective hot, verb reacted, and noun path respectively and modifies them. So, here we see the use of adverb as post modifier. Now, the use of relative clause as post modifier. At first, you need to know what is a relative clause. A relative clause is a kind of subordinate clause which is also called adjective clause. A relative clause acts like an adjective to modify the noun or noun phrase in a sentence. A relative clause always begins with relative pronoun like who, whom, whose, which, that, etc. Here are two examples of relative clause as post modifier. Look, number 1, the boy who came here is my brother. In this sentence, who came here is a relative clause which gives some extra information or specific information about the noun phrase the boy, and it modifies the noun phrase. In the second sentence, I do not like the dress which she bought for me. Here, which she bought for me is a relative clause and it gives some specific information about the noun phrase, the dress, and it modifies the noun phrase. Well, dear students, in this lecture, including my previous lectures on modifier, I have tried to discuss about the use of different words or word groups as modifier. Now I will have a quick summary of modifier for you. So far you have seen that modifiers may come in a sentence in lots of different ways. Regardless of whether a modifier is a single word, a phrase or a clause, it functions as an adjective or an adverb in a sentence, and this is the most interesting fact about modifier. Simply saying, a modifier is just a word or word groups that describe something more about another word. Also note that a modifier that comes before whatever it modifies is called a pre-modifier, and a modifier that comes afterwards is called a post-modifier. So this is the end of my discussion on modifier. Thank you very much for listening to my lecture so patiently. Hopefully, I will again come with another new topic inshallah. Till then, stay at home, stay safe and stay connected with us. Thank you again.